Hey guys, my name is Rachel and this is my little stats video for those of you that requested it. I had a lot of questions on my last video and on like my TikToks and my Instagram, and I've had a lot of people asking me like, oh my god, what stats did you use to get into Harvard? And really, there's no simple answer for it, especially for me, because I feel like I kind of have a little bit of a unique situation. I also can't talk at all, so this video has been taking forever to record because I can't speak. So, if you didn't watch my college decision reaction video, I applied to 17 schools and I got into the University of Tennessee, LSU, NC State, UVA, and Harvard, and I got rejected from MIT, Rice, Vanderbilt, Duke, all the other Ivies, waitlisted at Columbia, and waitlisted at Bowdoin. So, obviously, there's something a little different. Because usually when people get into Harvard, they get into like a lot of the other like super good like top schools. So like what happened? Am I a 1 millionth generation legacy, or did like my family build the grounds of Harvard? No. So I'm from a very I'd say very rural community, in a kind of decently small school. We don't really send people to Ivies and stuff like that, so we don't really have a lot of opportunities that other schools have. And I met some other Harvard students that are from a similar background as me, and they also only got in Harvard. So I think this is something that's kind of unique to Harvard. So this video is not for everyone. This video is not for you if you just want to get into the Ivy League, because I can't help you. But if you are a rural student, this video might be for you, but it literally only applies to Harvard, I'm pretty sure, because I don't know about any other schools, because I did not get in. First of all, one of the main things that people commented on my last video was that my brother also got into Harvard, so I'm like sibling legacy. But my brother also only got into Harvard, so I don't know, they just like us. I don't know, my parents did not go to Harvard. They're both teachers. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. I have it all written down in this book, free Microsoft book I got, thanks Bill Gates. Bill Gates did not give it to me. So first of all, my school has no AP classes, but I took 2 AP classes online and I took 3 AP exams. I did 4, I meant 3. I took AP Computer Science A and AP Computer Science Principles online, and I got 4s on both of those exams, and then I self-studied for the AP Lang exam and I got a 4 on that too. So those are my only APs, the only exams I took. That's all I had. I don't know, I guess Harvard is like that I was putting in some effort, so thanks. But if your school doesn't offer APs, I would definitely recommend trying to find some sort of online resource to like self-study for the exams, because I think it definitely shows that you are just as capable as the students who go to better schools that have AP classes and stuff like that. Even if you don't find something that's like an actual class that you can get like on your transcript, you can just, there's a lot of resources online to self-study for stuff, and just try your best. And then if you don't do good, you don't have to send it in, but I just think it's worth trying. My SAT score, I took the SAT 4 times in high school. Took it once in 7th grade. I don't know why. First time I took it, junior year, I got a 1320. Then the summer after junior year, I got a 1430. And then at the end of summer, I got a 1470. And then after that, I got a 1500. So my super score ended up being a 1520 with a 780 in math and a 740 in the reading and writing section. And before you comment, if you take the SAT, how many times of course you're gonna get a 1500? Listen, when you go to a school like mine, the education that you get is just not at the same like caliber as these other schools, like the feeder schools or whatever. So it's hard to start off getting a good score, because a bunch of people I met just took it once and got like a 1550. Not everyone can do that, because just not everyone has those same resources. So if you can, take the SAT as many times as you need, get the score that you want. My goal was just to get above a 1500, because I knew that I could, I just had to study. And studying for the SAT can literally be free. If you're struggling to get your SAT score up, I literally just used Khan Academy. I took all their practice SATs. I did all like the practice sections, like literally until they ran out of questions to give me. Like, that's how often I did it. And it's all free, so don't be discouraged if you just don't have a lot of money to get a tutor, or you think my school doesn't prepare me well enough for the SAT. You definitely can get a good score. You just have to be willing to like put in the work, because I had no social life for the last 2 years of high school because I was studying for the SAT, but then it paid off. It's another good way to prove that you're just as capable as other students, because it's hard to show, and I'm fidgeting with stuff, I can't think. It's hard to show that you're at the same level as other students when you don't have the same opportunities, like the same classes, the same clubs, you know. So you just need to show it with standardized stuff like that, like APs and SAT. And I know you can go test optional, but if you can get a good SAT score, like it definitely does help if you're a rural student. So my GPA was around a 4.7 something. I don't really know exactly because I just didn't look at the end of the year. But I found out like a couple days before graduation that I was valedictorian out of almost 300 students. It is kind of a decent sized school, but that only happened super recently because my old high school was super old. And then our rival school in the same county was also super old. So they combined this year. So I went to a new school this year, which is like a big mega school of both the old high schools. But for most of high school, I was in a class of like 160 people, I think, something like that. Don't get too stressed about class rank though, because when I applied, I did not say that I was valedictorian because I didn't know yet. For most of high school, I was like, I think I was 12th, and then I moved up to 6th at one point. So just get good grades, get all A's, whatever, and whatever your rank is what it is. Another thing is, I also did not have all A's. I got 2 B's junior year, but I wrote in my essays, I was like, I was standing up for myself like crazy. I was like, it's not the student that I am, because that year I had just started governor school, which is this program you test to get in, and your junior and senior year, you just take harder classes, like college level classes there. So that was my first year in governor school. Did not adjust good at all. I was also just like lazy, honestly. Like COVID messed me up, messed up my attention span. So I got 2 B's first semester, but I also talked about how I came back. I wouldn't be too stressed if maybe you had bad grades in like the beginning of high school, like not super bad, but you know, if you got some B's, as long as you show that you grew, just talk about it because, you know, explain yourself and stand up for yourself, because if you're not that kind of student anymore and you think that you're an all-A student and you know that you're capable of that, then just communicate that, and hopefully Harvard will understand that. So some of the classes that I took, I couldn't find a list of all the classes, also because I can't be bothered, but the ones I put on my resume as like my relevant classes were Calc 1 and 2, which I guess is equivalent to like A, B, and BC, Calc 1 and 2, Chem 111 and 112, Bio 101 and 102, and C++ programming, because I applied as a computer science major basically everywhere. So those are the only ones I listed. I didn't take any super crazy classes. I also was a community college student. I took like dual enrollment classes. So I graduated high school with my associate's degree too. And then I also took another class online at a different community college. And the class was like a discrete structures math class, something, I can't remember the exact name. But I took that online because it's relevant to my major, and we don't have like many computer science classes at my school. So then for my like awards and like recognitions, I guess, I got the College Board National Rural Scholar, which is based on your PSAT score. When I took the PSAT in junior year, I got a 1320, and I got that award, and I just put that on my resume. And I got the AP Scholar Award, which you get from getting at least a 4 on at least 3 AP exams, I'm pretty sure. So I got that. On my resume, I also talked about how I knew a couple coding languages, like a little bit. I knew Python, Java, and then some like a web development with HTML and CSS, and then a tiny bit of C++. But most of those I kind of just taught myself online. So for clubs, I was in a buttload of clubs. Up until my senior year, I was in a club called Help Save the Next Girl, where we kind of advocated for safety for girls, and I did social media for that my junior year. I was in Key Club up until senior year because just the switching to the new school, kind of a lot of clubs just died off. But I was the vice president of the Key Club. I was also in the Beta Club, which is like a volunteer-based club all throughout high school. And I went to the Beta Convention several times, and I went to the National Beta Convention. I did varsity cross country and soccer all throughout high school, like except for the COVID years, obviously. And I wasn't super good at either, but I did them. And I also, this is kind of a big thing, I have done competitive Irish dancing since I was like 5 years old. So that was also my resume. I got to a pretty decent level. I qualified for like for regionals every year. Like once you qualify for the first time, you keep going. I qualified for the first time when I was in like 8th grade, I think. It's like US regional, so it was like that's a big southern chunk of the United States. So I qualified for that a bunch of times, and then I qualified for nationals. So yeah, I just talked about that. So with that all being said, thank you if you've stuck with me, because I can't get my thoughts out at all. I'm gonna be looking at my essays, not fully reading them, but just kind of giving a little summary. This video is super unorganized, so if you're watching this, thank you so much. Comment, try to let us or something, I don't know. Y'all would kill me. But I did not really have a passion project or anything like that, because normal people don't have passion projects. Like, I was not thinking about where I was going to college when I first started high school. Like, I just didn't think about it at all, because I thought I was going to be a YouTuber. Like, I don't know. I'm just a normal person. But my main focus on my Common App personal essay was just about being from a rural community, and how I just love being from a small town where everyone knew everyone, and even though we didn't have a lot of resources and opportunities, people were always there for each other and made the most of what they had. So the prompt I chose was, some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, then please share your story. So the first essay they made us do is basically asking about additional intellectual activities that you've not mentioned or detailed elsewhere in your application, which can include self-directed projects, training experiences, online courses, research programs, stuff like that. So just like additional stuff. I talked about when I took my first computer science class, and then I talked about the AP classes I took, literally just the same stuff. But I was talking about how I taught myself a lot of that stuff, and how I was just super excited to learn stuff at Harvard, because I don't know, I was super excited. Then you could choose a prompt for the next one, and I chose the one that's how you hope to use your college education. And this one I talked about my dad, and then I just kind of talk about how computer science can contribute to cancer research. But again, I wouldn't advise writing about something that's sad just because you think they like stuff that's sad, just because a lot of people do it. But if it's something that's like was super meaningful for you, then definitely do write about it. My dad was diagnosed with cancer like at the beginning of my senior year, and he died like right before applications were due. So it was also like going on in my life like right then, and it was kind of the only thing that I could think about, so that's what I wrote about. And then the last essay was, please briefly elaborate on one of your extracurricular activities or work experiences. And then I just talked about Irish dance, and I just talked about how all the different aspects of dance that made up a perfect dance routine taught me how to multitask, and kind of how that applied to school. So yeah, those are my essays. Hopefully that made some sense, because I don't think it did, but hopefully it made some sense. Just as a little summary, this video won't really help just anyone get into just any college. This is mainly for people who are from a similar background as me, and if you're looking to get into Harvard, because I don't know of a lot of other top 20 schools that really look into your application as much as Harvard does, because they really did look into mine, because honestly my resume is just not as impressive as other students. And yeah, so I'm just super grateful that they looked into a bunch of other stuff and just kind of saw that the effort that I put into stuff, because I really worked hard, y'all. Like, it was a struggle. So anyway, that is my stats video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was interesting. But yeah, and hopefully I'll be uploading more once I'm in college. So subscribe if you want to see some more Harvard content. Let me know if you have any questions. And yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.